Siem Reap. How do you do, everyone? I'm Kim Thonn, an English-speaking tour guide for Siem Reap and surrounding provinces. Today I'm very delighted to be here again, and it marks the next step in the new chapter in my work talking about the history of the ancient temple of Cambodia. Today I would like to show you one more impressive temple which is behind me. But before going to this, I would like to apologize for two things related to my video. First, about the pronunciation or my speaking about the accent of English may not be good because this is my first start, and anyway I just want to share my very little knowledge about the history of the temple and Cambodia to everyone. Second thing is about the quality and the sound of this video may not be so clear because I'm lack of the some gears to make the quality better, but I hope you will enjoy watching my video and it is also acceptable for my first start. So now let's talk about the history related to this temple. This temple is called Phimeanakas Temple in Khmer, and in English meaning the Celestial Palace or Monument. It is located in the area of the ancient royal palace of the Khmer king. That the area was used from the 11th century to 16th century by different kings. And this temple was built firstly as the Hindu temple dedicated to Shiva, and it was built by different kings. Originally, the temple was built by King Rajendravarman II, who ruled from 944 to 968, who was also a Hindu king, worshipped Shiva. After that, the temple finished during the reign of King Suryavarman I, that ruled the country from 1002 to 1050. So it is in 11th century. We knew that the temple was formerly or originally designed with the golden tower, with the gold tower, but later the gold disappeared. This is what we learned from a Chinese record by a Chinese emissary or a Chinese ambassador named Judah Kwan, who came to visit Angkor for 1 year between 1296 to 1297, and he wrote a lot about the history of Cambodia and especially about the daily life of the people during the 13th century, how they lived around the Angkor, and also about the activity of the kings, the armies, the soldiers, the king's procession, the popular games, the traditional, the celebration inside Angkor Thom, and many more. So this is also special about the temple. This temple is enclosing by the enclosing wall, which is about 242 from it's from north to the south, and around 581 meters from north from west to east. The temple enclosing by this laterite enclosure. So it's designed as the shape of the pyramid with 3 levels or 3 tiers up. And every corner of this temple we find the elephant statues and also the lions. Elephant statues and the lions. And on top of this temple can be reached by the 4 stairways, but recently or presently only the western stairway that is usable, that is allowed the visitor to go up. Related to the history of this temple, there was a legend that usually talked by many people about Phimeanakas Temple. The legend said that at that time the king was attracted by a beautiful lady, a beautiful Naga lady or serpent lady, the 9-headed Nagas, that lived on top of the temple, and the people in the area worship her as the owner of the lands, or the god who protect Angkor area and its people. So during the Angkor time, the king was attracted by this lady, and the king and the lady, the king promised with the lady to sleep with her every night before joining with her with his wife or his consort or his concubines. If the king missing coming to sleep with the lady serpent for even one single night, the king would die and the country would be in calamity. Or if the lady Naga didn't show up just one night, it means that the date of the king is in her hand. So this is what we know about a legend related to the temple. But this is also special that it was built in the area of the royal palace, the ancient royal palace of Cambodia, that used by many kings such as Rajendravarman II, King Otayatitshavarman I, King Suryavarman I, King Otayatitshavarman II, and later maybe probably by King Jayavarman VII as well. It's until 16th century that the whole area was abandoned. Due to the recent excavation around this area, we found a lot of foundation that buried underground, a lot of foundation of the royal palace of the king, and some of the wood materials that were used during that time, as to build the wooden royal palace of the king. This also raised a question that many visitors always ask me, whether during the Angkor time, the kings and his wife, the concubines, and the officials living in the temple built by stone, like Angkor Wat, Bayon, and others, or they live somewhere else. The answer is that during that time, no one was allowed to live inside the temple or even stay one night inside the temple, because all the temple at that time were built as the place for God, or the worshipping place, or the place for praying by the religious people and by the king. So no one was allowed to stay or to live inside the temple, not even the king. At that time, the king lived in the royal palace in this area, in this ancient royal area, ancient royal palace area, and the official, the commoners live in the wooden houses that built around this area. So this is what we learned about the daily life of the people at that time. It also referring to a Chinese record again by Judah Kwan. First, I would like to show you about this big pond, or the bathing pool. This is called the woman pond, that is bigger than the man pond to the east. The two ponds are located to the north direction of the main temple, and the big pond is here. It is about 200 meters times 50 meters and around 8 meter deep. The pond is look really nice with some of the decorations at the basement of the pond, that nowadays we still can see some of the carving or the sculpture of the Naga and the beautiful deities, apsaras, the crocodile, the fish, the tortoise, and many more. Here where we can find all this carving, that is the Naga, or the dragon, or the serpent. And after that, down there we can see some of the images of the crocodile, the fish, and water birds over there. in the inscription we found inside this temple, told us that the name of the original name of this pond is called Sailatada, mean the pond which was made by stone. So here where we can see the stone carving. And people believe that in the past this pond was used only by the woman. It's until there. And now we continue to see one more pond which is smaller than the woman pond. This pond is called the man pond, as we knew from the Chinese record by a Chinese emissary named Yudakwan. This pond is about 50 meters times 25 meters and only 4.5 meters deep. And we know that this pond is only used by the mint. But what makes the two ponds different are the size of the pond, and the man pond here we couldn't find any carvings like the big ponds or the woman pond. This is quite interesting, and it always raises a question why the man pond was dug and made smaller than the woman pond. Here is the eastern gate of the ancient royal palace. This royal palace can be accessible by 5 gates, 2 to the north, 2 to the south, 1 to the east, and there's no gate yet to the west. On the door jamb and the window jamb of this gate, we found a very important information related to the reign of the king Suryavarman I. The inscription dated back to the year 910 and some in 1002, talking about the swear word between the king Suryavarman I and his officials. The swear word was about the trust of his armies to him. So, related to the temple, if you come to visit Phimeanakas temple, please give highly respect to the site and to the temple, because it was very sacred, and every people in Cambodia worship and respect to this area as the ancient royal palace, and also the place for the owner of the lands of Cambodia, who was the 9-headed Naga that worshipped by the king at that time. So all for now, I would like to say thank you very much for everybody that take your valuable time to watch my video from the beginning to the end, and also my previous video which are posted in YouTube and my Facebook page and my own Facebook account. Hope you will enjoy this video and have to share it to your friend or your people, so that they can learn more about the history of Cambodia. And in the near future, I will show you another ancient temple of Cambodia, which is located in the Angkor site and hidden from the eyes of the visitors. So all for now, I would like to say thank you and hope to see you.